some people suggest as you go towards retirement that you take some of your time off that you've accumulated and practice being retired. Yes, practice doing nothing or doing what you want to do. And I feel like I've been practicing for a while. I live frugally, and so I am content with just sitting here looking at the beautiful water, the trees, every leaf, every blade of grass, the butterflies, and just feeling the breeze on my face. I'm perfectly content doing that. But I think we get so caught up in this busy world that sometimes we are looking for excitement, looking to be entertained, looking for the next fun thing that we're going to spend our money on, or the next tangible thing that we can spend our money on to fulfill this need that we have. And I think if we could just go back to those simple life needs, food, water, fresh air, somewhere to sit and relax, a beautiful environment to look at. Many of us can be content with that. Now, I live in the country, so maybe those things are maybe a little more easily accessible for me. And I always say it would be hard for me to live in the city because I don't thrive very well on neighbors, sirens, concrete everywhere. I like it quiet, peaceful, serene, scarcely populated. I feel much safer and I feel much more relaxed in that environment. So, when have you practiced lately doing nothing? This is some things that I wanted to talk to you about today as we move forward into a more frugal life. There are many things that we just do not buy, and many of those things we don't buy, I don't see the need to spend that hard earned dollar on. I don't want to spend my money on things that I might be able to use that money later to do nothing and have the security to do nothing. So, I'm going to talk to you today about many of the things that I do not buy. There's so many things that I didn't grow up with that have been added to the choices that we have today, and they become commonplace. But for me, I've still stayed in that era where they weren't commonplace, and I just can't see spending my hard earned money on that. Back in the day when they would give us a chance to work an extra Saturday or to work a few hours extra and we would jump on it, I remember thinking, now I can get caught up on bills. Well, if you're already caught up on bills, you can turn down that extra overtime. And my job offers extra overtime, but I don't take it. I don't care to work any extra. I can get by without working extra, and that is more enjoyable for me than a few extra dollars that I could spend somewhere. So these are some of the things that I do not buy. I don't buy air fresheners or any kind of scent things that hang like in your car or that you spray your bathroom with. I have allergies and I don't prefer to have those scents. They just make me sneeze anyway. But I know a lot of people will buy like the air fresheners or the Febreze or even the car scent things that hang around your mirror. I don't buy any of those. Many of these things that I'm going to tell you about today, I get for free, and that's why I don't buy them. For instance, I don't buy reusable shopping bags, but I have a ton of them because they give them free. They give them free when they're having events, they give them free at the state fair, they give them free at conferences that I go to. I have a whole huge bag that I could never use all of them in my lifetime, because if one does wear out or tear or get a hole, I've been given 2 or 3 more during that time. So I've never bought a reusable shopping bag. Another thing is planners. I used to buy a planner when I was an executive director, but now I have just as busy of a schedule, and I just use the free calendars that they give us at the bank each year. And I write down the things on those days that I need to remember or accomplish. And then I use my computer for anything that has to do with my work schedule. My calendar I write on is for my own personal life and appointments. I don't buy sticky notes. And sticky notes have become so commonplace that I just use old envelopes or scraps of paper or the back of junk mail that I get. There's no reason to buy sticky notes. Yes, they're colorful, they stick to things, but they also come unstuck and then you lose them. So I would just prefer to write a note to myself and keep a list of that by me. If you've ever seen some people's desks, they're covered in sticky notes. And I wonder sometimes if they ever get to those things that they wrote on those sticky notes. Things that I plant in, like I use those little glass yogurt jars that I've showed you before to start the base of my lettuce, my celery, little things like that. I will just stick in some water in those until they're big enough to plant. I use coffee containers. I have old planters from when I bought flowers, and I just save those planters and reuse them. So I don't see a point in buying anything fancy or pretty. I've got enough stuff laying around that I can make do. I have never bought potting soil. Many people will go buy it every single year, but I compost. I live in the country. I know what good dirt looks like. It's really dark brown or dark black, and that usually is a sign of having good worms and things that will regenerate the dirt. So I don't ever buy that. I just dig dirt in areas and level it back off and use my own dirt. I don't buy cleaners. I just use vinegar and water half and half. I don't even put essential oil or Dawn or anything in the bottle. I don't use fabric softener. I don't use those little pellets that make things smell good because, again, I have allergies. Anything like that with an odor, I just don't even care to have that. And I always hang my clothes on the line, but if it's rained for an extended period of time or snowed or iced where I can't hang it on the line, I just use wool balls in my dryer. I bought some a few years ago, and I use the dryer so seldom that those wool balls are still like new, and they're supposed to last an extremely long time anyway. So I don't buy anything like that, fabric softener sheets, nothing like that for the dryer. I don't buy rubber bands. Again, that's another thing from office supplies. Sometimes it will come on broccoli, sometimes it will come wrapped around your mail. I just save those freebies and I keep them in our office drawer. And if we need a rubber band, we have enough to get by. I save the string off of cat food bags. My mom always saved the string in case we needed it. And this may sound funny, but it's an old home remedy that if you have a sore like between your little toe and your next toe, if you tie a string around your toe, it will hold it apart just enough that it won't hurt when you walk, and it'll give it enough air that it will heal. We used string for stuff like that when I grew up, and it's amazing how those little home remedies still work. I don't buy trash bags. We use our cat feed bags again as trash can liners, and those work really well. I live in the country. I don't have trash pickup. We reuse the cat food bags unless they get really messy, and we use them to recycle as well and sort things. I've never seen a need to buy trash bags. And we do not buy bottled water. My husband has a CPAP that he uses at night. We save his distilled water jugs and we refill those in the city for about 29 cents a jug because we do have a farm well and it doesn't taste too great to drink even though it's been tested. So we just refill those jugs and use those jugs for our drinking water. So I believe in doing what is easy. We already have paid for a lot of these things or they're free. So I just don't see the point of going out and buying something else that is marketed specifically for that, like a trash bag, instead of using things that I've already paid for, like the cat food sack, and just making do. And that has saved me so much money over my lifetime that I will be able to retire and think that I can get by because I know how. Knowing how to get by is a fantastic skill. And if I can help you in any way by sharing some of these ideas with you, feel free to use any of them that will work in your household. If you have any others to share, we would love to read them in the comments. You have a great day, and thanks for listening today.